What's cracking, guys? Bruce Madsen here, your host show of Metric Scout Fantasy Football. In the last few shows, I've been giving you some buys in Dynasty for running backs and wide receivers, whether you could pick these guys up off the waiver wire or trade for them on the cheap. Really just trying to find those edges where you can capitalize on the value. Just giving you some suggestions so you can be more active in your leagues on the trade market. During all this, I have discovered a major sell for us, and this one's right under our nose. A lot of you probably already know this, but I gotta make the video regardless. I have to do this. I have to let you guys know. This guy is being drafted around 25 overall, an average draft position, being drafted around the RB10 range. So he's being valued as an RB1, which is fine. When he's on the field, he is productive as an RB1, but the pitfall could be coming sooner than later. He is an older running back. He's averaged 24.5 opportunities per game. That's carries and targets together. So he is getting a heavy workload. Over the last 2 seasons, he's had 15 RB1 weeks along with 8 RB2 weeks, and he's only busted 4 times in the last 2 years. Those are weeks with an RB3 performance or worse, so not too bad. He's not busting on our lineups. He has 3 straight 1,000-yard seasons, and last year he averaged 15.9 PPR fantasy points per game while having 11.7% target share, which was 13th best among running backs. All this netted him 4.9 PPR points per touch last season. Now, let me know who you think this running back is. Let me know in the comments. Do that right now. While you're doing that, I'll give you a second. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out the show, helps out the channel, pumps me up on the algorithm a little bit. Also lets me know that I'm doing a good job. But now, since you got the time to enter in your comment there, I'm talking about Dalvin Cook, running back from the Minnesota Vikings, and this should be an obvious one. A lot of people should be looking at him as a sell. The thing about him as a sell, he's got an ADP of 25, RB10. That means there's a market there that's valuing him. That means if you have him on your roster and you're very inquisitive about his long-term outlook, there's somebody out there. There's somebody. They may not be in your league. They may not listen to you in your league, but there's somebody out there in this world that thinks Dalvin Cook's got a high price tag and is worth it, and they're willing to pay up for it. I'm seeing him go in the top 20 in drafts. I'm seeing that happen. And we're talking about a guy who will be 27 years old in August, who's had an extensive injury history when it comes to multiple shoulder injuries, a dislocated shoulder, knees, hammies, pretty much anything you can think of, really. Ankle injuries, long list of injuries, and this dated back all through college as well. And now he's 27 years old, has been getting a large workload throughout his career, and still holding some value on the market because he's a productive running back when healthy, when he's on the field. But eventually, Father Time is going to show up. And Father Time's not undefeated anymore. He's lost to Tom Brady. He has lost to J-Lo. But I don't know if Dalvin Cook has the goods to fight off Father Time. I don't think he does. Not many people do. I know I don't. I know you probably don't. It's going to happen sooner than later. He's 27 years old, about to hit that age apex for running backs. Usually it's been coming a little quicker for running backs. He's at 27 right now. Well, that's where he'll start the season. He's like 26.7 at the moment in age. But that cliff is coming. If I'm in a startup draft and I'm investing my second pick in the draft, my third pick in the draft, it's not going to be for a player that in 2024, 2023 is in jeopardy of not even being on my roster or being a bottom feeder on my roster or a guy I can't get rid of for a third or second round rookie pick even. I'm not paying that kind of premium, and we got that risk here. For all we know, he could be healthy, be productive, and give us a few more years. But the odds of it is getting slimmer. But by the week, by the month, by the day, it is getting there. And it's not just the age. It's not just the workload. It's just injury history that is mounting up. He's been productive. He's been productive when he's on the field. But eventually, it's going to catch up to him, not to mention the legal matters, which is something I'm not going to go into because I'm not a lawyer and I'm not very calibrated to that stuff. But on the trade market, looking at DLF's trade finder on dynastyleaguefootball.com, there are some interesting deals that we could look at. He holds some value that you could be creative with him and create some decent trades, and it's all with what you want and how you value it. But here's some things that I saw that Dalvin Cook was traded for: James Conner and Deontay Johnson. So you get a young wide receiver who's productive, who gives you steady production at that. And then you get James Conner, who's going to get a decent workload in Arizona, get you, 80% of the scoring output and whatever else. And there's not much of a loss. His long-term player outlook's probably similar to Cook. Cook could last a little longer. Conner could last a little longer. This is a very interesting deal. You're also seeing him being traded for multiple firsts, plus maybe a prospect, or multiple firsts, plus maybe a latter pick or whatever. Cam Akers, plus a lesser running back, or a pick. We're getting Michael Pittman, Elijah Mitchell stacked together, plus a pick or a prospect. We got some wiggle room here to work with for Dalvin Cook. We can be creative. We can add pieces to our offense. We may not be able to get some of these deals to work out for our dynasty teams. It may not work for me. It may not work for you. The other managers in your league may realize that Dalvin Cook's an aging asset. They don't want to give away their players, their high-end draft capital for him. But there's some leagues that are. There are some managers that are willing to fork it over to get that short-term production. If not, he would not be averaging top 25 overall in ADP in RB1. That's where he's being valued at right now. You say he doesn't hold any value, it would be completely false, because he's got startup draft value. Is getting some decent trades on the market, whether you like them or not. Some people are going to value it, and some other people aren't. It's all with how you view it. Feel free to disagree. You're supposed to disagree with me on some of these videos. Ordinary analysis is just going to get you ordinary results, and I'm just here to think outside the box, find those edges, be creative to help you out. If I give you the ho-hum content, the average stuff, then you're just going to have average material to listen to, and you're just going to get average results. You just take what I give you and you run with it however you want. But I look at Dalvin Cook as a potential sell in Dynasty. I feel like the cliff is coming sooner than later. If it does come soon, it's going to come hot and heavy. Age, injury history, that's all been noted. That is very real, and it's very possible that could be a major indicator of what's about to come with Dalvin Cook. I don't want to be caught with my pants down with him on my roster. I paid a 25th overall startup pick for him, and then 2 years later, I can't even sell him. I can't even use him, and it's over. I don't want to take that risk that high in a startup draft. I don't want to pay up for him in a trade, and if I can still get some return on my investment right now in the market, I can get a lesser running back who gets me 80% of the production, and a good wide receiver or a couple draft picks, if I can be creative with it. And the fact that I can be creative with this trade means I can work it with multiple different managers in my league to get something happen. And his value 6 months from now, 8 months from now, 10 months from now, it could be totally tanked, because it is a lot lower compared to what it was like a year and a half ago or so. It was in the top 10 a while back. Now we're at 25. So the market's starting to notice it, but it's not being aggressive enough to realize the age apex is coming. The injury history is starting to snowball a little bit. This may be our last time to drop him off our roster, but you let me know what you think about Dalvin Cook. Are you trying to buy him up? Are you trying to sell him? Are you holding him? Let me know. But I want to thank you for watching the show. Stick with me. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. Every subscription matters. Fuels me to keep putting out this content. Fuels me to keep critical thinking for your dynasty teams to help you win your leagues, make your teams better, help you build upon your process. Again, I want to thank you, and I'll catch you next time.